want to give a quick shout out to the packing place that I just got all of the corrugated cardboard sheets that we're going to use this year. Took me quite a while to find a local place, and I couldn't get everything that I wanted. They've only got the corrugation in one uh, orientation, and so there'll be a little bit of cutting and splicing to make some double thick, um, some laminations that are stronger. You can't just get their 2 layers, directly from them. It's fine. Still a great price, $6 a sheet, cash and carry, $200. I got 30 sheets. The problem is I had this weird experience that hasn't fully sunk in until now that I'm headed home. So I figured, well, what the heck, Basically, small business locally, relatively small, looked like, 10, 12 people work there maybe. I don't know. I came around to the loading dock. I got set up with what I had called ahead about, made sure that's what I was looking for. And then I said, I'll have to run up to the office, I assume, to do the deal, make the payment and stuff. So yeah, we walked up there. I hemmed and hawed a little bit about getting cash out, but it's like, that's just more time spent on my part. It's going to be a 4% charge on the credit card charge. It ended up being like $6 or $7 extra. So I decided, whatever, it's no problem. I came up to run the card, and I stepped into their small front office, and took a few steps in, and all of a sudden, there's a dog all over my legs, and it had barked a couple times, and it was growling, and I glanced down, and the hair was up on its neck, and it's sniffing all around, my groin, basically front back, which is distressing, because while I'm happy to see any dog, and I have no problem with them being in the workplace, but without an announcement and without them doing their diligence on socializing the dog, without it being at random customers' expense over the first couple of months that he's in the office or something, which is what I assume this isn't great. I made some chit chat while I waited for them to run my card, and then I ended up joking because it had been like 5 minutes, whether they're using a knuckle buster or something, or what's taking so long. Just want to make sure I get my card back. I don't want to drag their day out. I'm small potatoes. It's a relatively small amount of stuff. It was a cramped office, and so I was I had a captive audience, and I was blathering and just want to get going. It's very nice to meet a new, supplier or anything like that, but also it didn't need to take as long as it was, which is whatever. But on my way out the door from the office that I hadn't really looked into or engaged with, that the dog came out of, the guy in there shouted, you ought to see the girl who's running your card, and you would let her keep it. And I had already missed his doorway, so I popped back into a view and took stock quickly, and it seemed like, this must be the old man or the owner or whatever you want to call him. And so it sounded a bit like it raised a red flag, and then I didn't know what else to say other than I don't know what you're saying. I didn't want to just essentially didn't want to blow off the fact that this guy had said something to me. He owns the place ostensibly or whatever. But then he doubled down and said, well, she's really pretty. And at this point, there's at least another woman or two in the office right there with us, a couple other guys there, various ages, various levels within the company. And I don't know where you want me to go with that. But if you're not related to this person, because I'll give you a pass if they're your kid or something, and I'm theoretically an available guy, and you're trying to set somebody up, it's very old world. My parents or my grandparents are off the boat. You want to set up the younger generation with what looks like I assume. So that was the most benefit of the doubt I was prepared to give. But on the other hand, it very well may not be. And there's a young lady who's overheard the boss say to just some random customer that she's pretty, and I might let her keep my card. And I'm thinking immediately, if that's the scenario, this isn't the only time something like this has happened. And if I don't push back a little bit, I'm going to be remiss if I walk out of here and I'm left to think that, I just let that fly. I'm the only one in a position to do anything. I work for myself. I'm a customer. So I said, and I didn't put something together that was eloquent. I was all just sort of backpedaling, but I said, that sounds borderline sexual harassment. And then I felt as though I better tag on because it's a bit presumptuous that I'd be interested, basically, that my fiance is also very pretty. And then I said again, thanks everyone, thanks all, and simply stepped out. But it didn't end there. I assume there was some conversation afterward, because as I'm packing up my order in the warehouse, he came storming out of the office and marched up to within a few feet, demanded that I tell him whether or not that I felt that was sexual abuse. And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, in many ways it might have been. I don't know, are you related to the girl or anything? And then that was it. I felt at the time that conflating the sexual nature and whether or not he's related to her added an incestuous element that was just too much insult for him to handle, because he just exploded and told me to, fuck off and go vote for Biden, and he doesn't do business with liberals, and what was the other thing? Oh, to buy my cardboard somewhere else, which I'll be happy to do. Anyway, I think I said, I'm sorry if you're embarrassed, but and he didn't like that, and I guess I didn't think he might. But then he stormed back into the office. And so I said to the guy helping, I said, listen, because it's the truth, I didn't mean to rustle any chimneys. I was just trying to be in and out quickly, make it efficient. And I don't want to, I said we could just load this quick and I'll get out of here. But he took some time and helped me to wrap it up so it isn't blowing away. And shook my hand when I took off. And then he did say that that is that guy's daughter and that she's married. And so I said, so I don't know what's going on. I just feel like it's just a lot of talk that didn't need to be said then. It's just probing. I was talking in the office for a few minutes about how I came from the entertainment industry and, my line of work and whatever, the materials I'm interested in borrowing or buying from them maybe. And I think that might have raised a red flag as to whether or not he agreed with me politically, and so he couldn't help but to interject, see if we can get a little something going. Anyway, there's no helping someone or reaching someone like that, at least from me, so I did not engage. But we'll throw this up on YouTube. We'll give them a shout out. What were they called again? That was the owner of, God, it's a forgettable name. Alliteration, or what do you call it? What is it? It's Partners Packaging in Buffalo, New York. Must have been Junior that I had my chat with. He was wonderful. Everybody else in the office I chatted to briefly seemed just fine. I will not lump them in with Senior or whatever you want to call him whatsoever. You folks are your own people, and mostly I'm just disappointed at how hard the owner's willing to bend over backward to see if he can't start a problem. So I guess I'm just glad that I worked for myself. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see.